Week 3 in the books. Welcome back to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. Welcome back once again. And once again, we think there's going to be a bunch of games that are in the bag and a lot of upsets again. Starting with Commanders and Bengals. We'll get into this a little bit, but what initial thoughts on that? How do you feel about that?
Week 3 in the books. I very surprised by a lot of it, but at the end of the day, that's just how football works. You think one thing's going to happen, another thing happens.
Jayden Daniels, man, shocking the Bengals. Bengals dropping to 0-3. That Monday Night Football game was electric.
Yeah, he's the up-runner for the best rookie right now.
Well, and your boy Malik Neighbors, don't forget about that. We had a little argument about that in the chat. But we're getting back into the Week 3 games. Predict Week 4. Do the usual bid that we always do. Like, subscribe, share, and let's hit it right now. Let's go. So, Dylan, like I said, Commanders-Bengals. I thought the Bengals had this in the bag. To go to 0-3, that was a big stretch for them. I thought, okay, they're going to be desperate. They're home. They're going to come out firing at all cylinders. And the offense was. But Jayden Daniels picked apart that defense. Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, we always, we shitted on him in the Cardinals. But he got Kyler Murray in the playoffs. I think he's a successful offensive coordinator with a running quarterback. He showed this today. Yeah. Jayden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury had a day.
Absolutely. I mean, the performance that Jayden Daniels put on, you could only tell he's going to be replicating that for the rest of the season. I mean, you could just tell he's going to be what Anthony Richardson should be. He has that run factor with him. He could juke people out in the field. He's and that arm, man. You can't. I mean, nothing beats that last play at the end where he let it go to Terry McLaurin. And kudos to him, man. He had confidence in himself to let that ball go. I mean, you could only put that in one spot, and he did it. And I mean, it just shows where he is in the league right now.
And you saw how excited Joe Buck was on the call. If you're a Commanders fan, I get the excitement from this. I mean, Jayden Daniels, you know the running ability. I think he has the most first downs for a quarterback in the league so far this year. The running ability is there, but you saw what he could do from the pocket, Dylan. The deep ball, the throws over the middle, finally getting McLaurin involved, and McLaurin was being patient. He was asked before the game, "Are you becoming impatient, not getting the ball?" He said, "No, I'm fine. We got." I think he knows that Jayden Daniels was going to be something special,
It's great because I saw a clip with him. I think it was like a post-game interview, and they said, "What happened at the end of the game with that catch?" He told him he literally went up to Jayden Daniels. He's like, "Hey, hit me on a go. Just let me have it." And that's exactly what he did. He trusted his receiver. He let it go. It was a perfect throw, and he made a hell of a play.
And he's got talent on that deep ball. He really does.
And it's kind of unfortunate because he hasn't had the career that he should have with the quarterbacks that he had.
Yeah.
I mean, he's. A quarterback like this, you could really see. Like he's like a Stephon Diggs. He could easily be a top 5 wide receiver. He just doesn't have the talent around him.
Well, now he has Jayden Daniels. Yeah. This guy might be something. He's Rookie of the Year. I think he's probably him and your guy Malik Neighbors are probably in the 1-2. Probably going to go back and forth for the rest of the year. As far as we're seeing it right now, Ty usually goes to the quarterback, but Malik Neighbors was special in that game on Sunday. We'll get into that in a little bit.
I mean, listen, if Jayden Daniels keeps on doing what he's doing, give it to him.
I would not be shocked.
He deserves it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now the Bengals starting 0-3. Are you worried? Are you worried?
Absolutely.
I'm worried too.
I'm beyond worried.
They were home and they lost to the Commanders.
Honestly, you look at their schedule too. They have a tough schedule ahead of them. It's nothing easy, and it's not even that I'm worried about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. He can get it done. Obviously, that week 1 didn't look good.
The offense looked really well in that game.
The offense looked like it was humming.
Right.
You put up 33 points, you expect to win a game.
Right.
Where's your defense? They let up 38 points to a rookie. I mean, I'm not throwing any shade on Jayden Daniels, but 38 points. And they could only do so much.
Right. And they actually have a good defensive coordinator in Lou Anarumo. But, I don't know, maybe the talent's not there anymore?
The talent's not there.
I guess not.
Name me one cornerback over there. I mean...
Cam Taylor-Britt had that one-handed pick against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But he got burnt on a touchdown to... was that the first touchdown to McLaurin?
No, it was to...
The first touchdown. He got burnt on one touchdown. It wasn't McLaurin, I don't think. It was It was one of the other guys.
Regardless, I mean, one play doesn't justify how talented you are.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
You could make one play and then get burnt the rest of the game.
They have two decent safeties. They have Trey Hendrickson as a pass rusher, but I guess this is they're
just falling apart on defense.
They couldn't stop. I just think Jayden Daniels, there's not much film on him. There's film on him in college. There's not film on him in the NFL. So he's going in there. You don't really know what he's going to do. And he kind of shocked them a little bit. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, he shocked them all right.
He shocked them for sure. So
now they're 2-1. I mean, the way that the NFC East has been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a playoff run. If they I wouldn't either.
No.
I mean, the Cowboys, they don't look good.
What
the Eagles, they put up, 15 points this week? Come on, against the Saints.
But is there a possibility, a window, where the Washington Commanders could win the NFC East?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that window? How many wins do they have to get to win the NFC East, you think?
They could win it with 9 wins.
I think, honestly, I do kind of agree with that because I feel like the Eagles could somehow end up 9-8, 10-7, and you could be fighting for that. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen, but
it comes down to those divisional games.
Yes.
It really does. I mean, they already got one up on the Giants.
If you just split one with both of them, Dallas and the Eagles, you're in good position.
They easily can. I mean, the way that they played this week, both of them, the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, not the Giants, obviously. They played a hell of a game.
Hell of a game.
We'll get into that,
yes.
But they can definitely. Honestly, in all honesty, I think the Commanders have a better shot of making the playoffs than the Bengals do.
Well, yeah, the Commanders are 2-1, the Bengals are 0-3, and the Commanders, honestly, there's a possibility where they could get into the playoffs. There really is. The NFC, the Packers have been playing great, but Jordan Love's hurt. You got, it's a lot of weird teams that are 3-0. You got the Vikings, the Seahawks, and then you have the Niners who are 1-2.
I think the NFC is running the conference. I mean, running the NFL right now.
I actually think the NFC is the stronger conference right now, too.
Yeah, for once. Yeah. I mean, the Texans aren't looking good.
Well, they lost this week, but I still think they're fine.
No, I think they're fine, too. But
the Vikings beat them, NFC team.
Yeah.
Who's 3-0, and Sam Darnold, we'll get into that in a little bit. He's probably a front-runner for MVP right now.
Yeah, it's insane. And nothing more to go on to get out the game. I'm just very impressed with Jayden Daniels.
You know who's not putting up MVP numbers right now, but it doesn't really matter? Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs, they're winning games, and I don't think Mahomes cares as much about his numbers anymore. He's not, he got 5 touchdowns, 4 picks on the year. He's not really putting up Mahomes numbers. He just cares about winning.
He's not like a Rodgers where he's sitting there worrying about his picks.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he does throw some risky balls. I mean, you have some talent. You expect things to click more, and it doesn't really seem like they are. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I feel like they're just getting lucky. The games that they're winning, they're just getting lucky.
Let's talk about it right now. The pass interference. What was it? Kyle pitched in the end zone.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Listen.
Before you get into this right now, we get roasted for these videos every week with the pass interference.
This week was very justifiable. You have this guy completely holding you, 2 or 3 yards before the ball even comes to you.
That was the pass interference.
That was 100%. And I'm not sitting here saying the NFL's rigged or anything, but that was complete BS. And it's crazy how it always comes down to the penalties either being called or not being called with the Chiefs. And it's getting a little outrageous.
It is getting. I'm back and forth on this because I don't feel like the NFL is rigged. I do think there was calls called on the Chiefs, but it does seem like in these critical moments that they don't call the calls
it always goes their way.
It almost always benefits the Chiefs, and I know people thought we were just being clowns because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about because we never played pro ball. But guess what? Taylor Swift brings in ratings. Patrick Mahomes brings in ratings. Travis Kelce brings in ratings. What do you want in the playoffs? Mahomes, Kelce, Taylor Swift. What do you want to see? Well, the Chiefs. Why? Because they bring in ratings. Ratings. They care about money. Stop telling me otherwise. Am I wrong?
I'm just telling you, they're 3-0 right now. They should be 1-2. They should 100% be 1-2 right now. And it's crazy because now they could just breeze through the rest of their schedule like it's nothing.
Look, I will say they are a top team in the league. I think Mahomes.
They are, and
we're not denying that. We are not denying that the Chiefs are a top team in the league, but we think they get a little lucky sometimes. That's all.
They do, and the amount of I'm gonna shit on them right now. The amount of talent that they have, they should be dominating, and they're not.
I think they're playing a little too safe. Mahomes should be going out there throwing not 5 touchdowns a game, but 3 touchdowns a game, having a 95 passer rating at least. But
I do think at the end of the season, they're going to put it all together like they always do. I mean,
They will.
I can't argue that towards the end of the season every year they ball out. In the playoffs, they ball out. They do. But I'm just saying these calls are getting a little ridiculous.
They want them to get to the playoffs because they know once they get there, they're going to go off.
And listen,
Let's be
last
honest.
year they were a game away from missing the playoffs. I don't have the record in front of me.
They went 11-6.
They were close.
They
They
were
were very
11-6,
close
yep.
to missing the playoffs.
They were the 3 seed, yeah.
They were the 3 seed. And they had a pretty tough conference, too. So, all I'm saying is, keep on watching those calls, because it's getting a little obvious now.
Like I said, NBA, Game 7s, they push things to Game 7. They made calls for Game 7, because what did Game 7 do? Ratings. What does the Chiefs, Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce do? Ratings. I'm not trying to be an idiot. I'm not trying to be some jack-off. I'm trying to just state facts here. The NFL wants ratings. They want money. That's what they're trying to do. I think that's what me and Dylan are trying to say.
I'm not, I mean, I feel like you're more convinced than I am, but I just think these calls are getting ridiculous, and it's even in the AFC Championship, like with the Bengals, there was like so many holding calls. There were so many plays that they should have called. In the Super Bowl, the 49ers was getting held left and right, and they just didn't call anything.
I honestly think you're worse than me. I don't care as much because I know the Chiefs are a good team. I know they're the top team in the league. But I'm just accepting money for what money is, my friend.
That. In 3 Super Bowls that they were in, they didn't have one holding call.
And we saw plenty of holding calls in those games.
Let's not. The Packers. The Chiefs, their line was deteriorating towards the Super Bowl, and then you have this monster defense coming at you. You don't think there's going to be one holding call? Come on, man.
I heard that a lot of teams. Like, say you're playing the Chiefs against the Chiefs. The D line, what jersey are they wearing? Red. So what gloves are you going to wear? Red gloves.
I heard that too, but...
It's pretty smart, though.
There's plays I've seen where they literally have their hand around their neck.
Yes, that's
it's just so blatant, and the ref's sitting there looking at it, and it's like, okay, you're going to throw the flag?
Sometimes I think they just miss stuff, though.
No, I agree, but then...
We have a friend who thinks the NFL's rigged. We don't think that. We don't think the NFL's rigged. We just think... Look, you are naive if you don't think that people make calls to sway one way or another way. That's just how life in the game works. It's just,
I mean, refs are people too, you know, and I'm sure they have fan base.
They like a guy, you know. They have a personal relationship with them. He asks him about his mom, his family. You know what I mean?
It might be something beyond that. Who knows? But
that's what they always say, though. Make friends with the refs. Be nice to them because it's 50-50 call. They're gonna give it to you if they like you. It's just how. Everyone always says, you gotta be impartial and everything, but it's just not how reality is. You want everything can be idealistic all you want, but it's just not how life works. It's not how things work. So, do you agree with me a little bit? It's just not reality of how things work.
Anyways,
the Falcons the
Falcons played a great game.
Yeah, they didn't play bad, man.
They didn't play great, but I feel like Kirk is really coming on to be a great quarterback with this team.
I think this is a good
offense. It took
offense.
2 weeks. It did take a little bit. You know, there was some rough passes there, but literally after that last drive last week, they've just been clicking.
If you think about it, the Steelers might be the best defense in the league too. They played them week 1, struggled. Since then, they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
They've been pretty impressive.
I'm high on the Falcons. I am. I think they could make a run for the playoffs too.
Division?
Yeah.
Over Saints? Over Bucks?
Absolutely.
It's possible.
They
I think it's
seem like
possible.
the best team right now.
Yes.
Honestly, they're playing like it.
I really do agree, Dylan. I was very low on the Falcons going into the season because the whole Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins situation. Mm-hmm. But now, you see them play. You see this offense. You see Bijan finally getting involved the way he should be. Kyle Pitts making some big plays down the field. Honestly, if that pass interference didn't happen, he probably would have scored that touchdown there.
He would have.
So he's getting a little better.
It's a little ridiculous because they were literally right there at the line, and they had to get a first down with a 4th and short, and they did this little thing where they handed it off and had him do a jet sweep. I'm like, bro, just run it up the middle, push Bijan, get behind him. They did too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, you would like to see someone go north to south.
That works the best.
Why they went east to west on that point? They got a little too cute. And I said this a lot last year with the too cute word. We should put a banner up whenever someone gets too cute. Let's be too cute. Yep, they got too cute there.
They got too cute.
They are the first too cute candidates of the season. That was a little too cute for my liking. Oh, another one that was too cute. We'll get into this a little bit, but the 4th and 1 Eagles game, tush push. They try to give a
And
little.
they try to get. That's exactly what I was.
Too
before
cute,
you
my
even
friend.
said- That
Too
was
cute.
too cute.
Too cute.
You're the Eagles. You have 1 yard to get. You know what to do. They could have just gave it to Saquon and did the same thing. You don't have him do a jet or fake it and drop back in the pocket or do something better than that.
Too cute.
Too cute is right.
That's going to be our phrase for the rest of the season, my friend. Can we get into now the game that I went to last week, Thursday? Patriots at Jets. Let's be honest. I said the last couple of weeks that Aaron Rodgers, he can't move anymore. He's not the same. He's just a sitting duck in the pocket. I was wrong. He moved. He looked, and not only did he move, Dylan, he looked very effective moving. And what did he do? He moved, looking to throw down the field. He made throws down the field, moving out of the pocket. He looked great this game. Was he like MVP Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks of all time? Probably not, but he was a top 10 quarterback on Thursday night, Dylan.
I agree. They played a great game, but I feel like a lot of people are now jumping to Jets Super Bowl.
I'm
Super Bowl.
not that guy.
You played the Patriots.
Yes.
They have a decent defense, but their offense is obviously not there. You can tell by the score, 3-24.
No, I agree. We're not there.
Enjoy it. Enjoy
Yes.
the win, but at the same time, let's cool a little bit. Play a good team. See how you face off against them. But listen, I mean, there's nothing to hate against this. Aaron Rodgers, he's finally stepping up. He's finally, making those throws that you want to see. So I can't complain. He played a good game. I mean, there's nothing that I can shit on about the Jets for this game. They played a good game.
I can't agree more with anything you said, Dylan. You hit everything right on the nail. Yes, you cannot. As a Jets fan, I'm a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan. Okay,
He's a Jets fan.
You can't shit on anything they did in that game. They controlled the entire game, running, passing, defense,
offense,
sacks,
passing.
passing. They were the whole package that game. Aaron Rodgers was vintage Aaron Rodgers in that game. I know it's in him now. I know he could do it. I didn't know if he could do it anymore. Now I know Aaron Rodgers could be Aaron Rodgers. Can he do that for 17 games? That's what I want to see now because Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, their ceilings, it's pretty high. They could win a playoff game or two, but they have to be consistent. I don't know if this is going to be the Jets every week, though. I don't know.
Listen, you guys have what? You guys have...
We got the Broncos next.
You have the Broncos.
Vikings,
and then you have the Vikings.
It's going to be
That's
tough.
the game I'm looking forward to. That's going to be the telling story right there. They've been having good defense.
London, you got to go to a
Nobody's
different
home
country.
there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that game. I'm excited to see what the Jets put up against them because listen, their defense has been phenomenal. They have their line. They've been stopping them. They've been stopping good teams. The Texans,
Denver,
the 49ers.
yes. Oh, Viking. Well, Denver.
I'm
Denver's been good too, though.
They have.
The defense has been good.
But
But
the
Minnesota, yes. Brian
they're-
Flores. We'll get into that later. But Brian Flores, what a job he's done so far this year. The defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
He shut down C.J. Stroud. He shut down Brock Purdy. He's
We're
really
gonna
been
get
impressive.
into that.
We will. But that's going to be tough. What's the Jets out? What's the Jets ceiling? How many wins? How far do they go in the playoffs? If they make the playoffs.
Listen, your conference isn't too hard. I think the Bills are going to be above you.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, they have too much momentum.
Josh Allen's probably MVP this year, but go on.
Yeah, but this conference has really took a step back.
Bengals, Ravens.
Absolutely. So the window is a little bigger than we think. And I think they could absolutely still make a playoff run, maybe the 7th or 6th seed, but I think they can still make it there.
So
they are 2-1.
I do think they can win a
good
playoff
record right
game.
now.
I do think they can win a playoff game and make maybe the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say AFC Championship yet. I got to see this more consistently, but this has been a great win for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers was vintage Aaron Rodgers. One of the best Jet games I ever went to in my life, and you know what? I'm going to live this in for a week. It was a great win by the Jets.
I mean, yeah, you were there, man. I mean,
Let's just
it doesn't get better than that.
Let's just keep it going because I'm all happy being a Jets fan. There's nothing I can complain about. I love the Jets right now. It's great job, Jets. You really had the Patriots. They gave the Bengals a fight and they gave the Seahawks a fight. They beat the Bengals. No, they almost beat the Seahawks and we demolished them.
Absolutely. They're a good team,
Yeah, they are a good. They should beat the bad teams. They should beat the bad teams.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, a team that should be beating the bad teams, but it's like losing to good and bad teams. The Dallas Cowboys facing the Ravens, and now they're starting 1-2. Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this game started, you knew it was going to be a blowout. The only thing that I'm impressed by is by how they drove. They drove down and they took it to the last second with this game. But I am very concerned because you can't do this. You can't come into games all nonchalant and have them put 20+ points on you. It's just not going to happen. I'm not crazy about Dak. I mean, I don't think they really have much of a run game. And you just got to do better.
You really do, because in that first half, the Ravens are running the football. You thought they were probably going to get like 400 to 500 rushing yards, Dylan. They could not stop They are the worst running defense in the league. So that Dallas defense, yes, you have them in fantasy, and I'm going to give you a little advice now, because this is probably the one thing you have a great fantasy team. This is probably the one thing you're lacking in the defense, and you know why? Because Dallas, when they have a lead, yes, they'll pin their ears back to rush the passer, but when they're trailing, that defense is a little vulnerable. It showed this game.
I mean, you got Parsons back there. You think they would have a little bit more pressure, but
they have good corners too, dude. Well, Deron Bland's out, but you have Diggs, and then you have another rookie.
They just don't have it all put together. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe when that offense isn't humming, they don't have the motivation to go out there and do what they have. Maybe they just feel pressured. They have to make a stop, and they don't. I don't know what it is. But Baltimore, they got to figure it out. They used Derrick Henry like he should be used. I mean, they were giving him screens.
Right.
He's not a guy that you could have. He's 29. He's getting old. You're not going to have him, go head on head with the player. Have him go out. Have him run. He's still pretty fast out there.
And I said this a couple weeks ago. Derrick Henry's perfect when you have the lead. When you're trailing, he's not going to be on the field. They had the lead. He was effective. That's what it has to be.
They have to use him right.
They have to be consistent. They have to get into a lead fast. That's what the Ravens are. They need to get the lead, run the football, have Lamar do some runs, maybe some short play action passes, and that's how they're going to win. They're not going to win throwing 35, 40 times a game. They're going to win establishing a run game, getting the lead quick, and holding on to that lead. That's how the Ravens are going to win the games in this league.
I was just a little worried how they were able to come back that quickly. You're playing with your food too much.
Come on, Dallas is the king of garbage time, though.
They are.
In the Packers game last year, same thing. They love their garbage time.
One wrong play away from them coming back and winning. It's like you gotta put your foot in the dirt and really give it to them.
I agree, and that's why the Ravens probably aren't.
The gas.
Ravens probably aren't Super Bowl contenders this year. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I mean,
I wouldn't say they're not Super Bowl contenders. Lamar Jackson is still Lamar Jackson, and like I said before, this conference isn't that hot right now. You had the Chiefs that are barely doing anything, almost losing the team.
Houston started off strong, and then
Houston started off strong, and then just got destroyed by the Vikings. And then who else? The Bengals. It's
Buffalo.
It's a weird conference.
It really is.
LA,
you thought the Chargers were doing well, and Justin Herbert got hurt. It's actually pretty weird, Dylan. Tua's out. There's a lot of playoff teams last year that are not going to be playoff teams this year.
NFC is definitely running the NFL.
I got to agree with that. Speaking of the NFC, we thought this game was going to be an NFC powerhouse game. Eagles at Saints. And we thought this was going to be like a high-scoring game. It was the opposite, Dylan.
Everyone thought it.
Opposite. The Eagles' defense really came to play this game. And so did the Saints' defense. Very effective, both of them.
Great defenses, but terrible offenses, too. Eagles didn't score a point until the third quarter.
I got to say, Jalen Hurts, he makes some big plays down the field, but he's also a turnover machine.
That's what I want to get.
Jalen Hurts is a turnover machine. I like Jalen Hurts. He has a lot of upside, but he turns the ball over way too much. He needs to make smarter decisions.
Taking too much risk in the red zone. I mean, that's the prime spot. And then
that pick in the end zone was, what are you thinking there, man? You're in the red zone. Take the sack. Take the field goal. What are you doing?
Reminded me a little bit of Daniel Jones, when he used to be, very turnover prone.
Difference here, Jalen Hurts is a way better offensive line than Jones had in the past. The line's better than this year, but
I don't know. After Kelsey left, it's just nothing's the same.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's one of the best centers of all time. You can't. I mean, Cam Jurgens was the right guard.
That.
No, you really can't. But remember, AJ Brown was out. Devontae Smith left early. Before we bring up Dallas Goedert, who came up huge in the fourth quarter and the third. Saquon Barkley, huge 65-yard run. I'm going to remember that run.
That is the heart of your offense. It should be.
That was a signature run. I'm going to remember that run probably for the rest of Barkley's career.
Absolutely.
That was a signature Barkley run.
And when I think of this team, I think this is how the Lions. The Lions should be. No, I'm sorry. The Eagles should be like the Lions.
Yes.
They got it all figured out. You have a great run game. Stick with the run
ball.
game.
Yes.
Throw it once in a while, but you have somebody better at quarterback. You have Jalen Hurts. He's a run threat.
He has more upside, in my opinion.
He does.
And he's a good deep ball.
They should really take a note from the Lions because they got it. They have like a very similar offense. They have a great line. They both have great running backs. use your running backs.
And they did this game at the end. And honestly, Dallas Goedert showed up. A.J. Brown was out this game.
Somebody had to step
Dallas
up.
Goedert stepped up. And you know what? We were waiting for Goedert to step up this season. He had a big game. Big time in that last drive. He yards after the catch on that drive. He went like 60 yards on the field.
There was like 2 or 3 plays where he just took it down the field. Absolutely.
And then Barkley scored. Barkley ran it in. Barkley ran into 2-point conversion. It's a ball game. So
I mean, like I said, Barkley, keep that guy at the heart of your offense.
And then Derek Carr, the Saints, were off to such a hot start. They scored 12 points. And then on that last drive, Derek Carr had a chance to tie the game. That was a stupid pick. Stupid interception into the middle of the field. What was he thinking, Dylan? He makes throws like that all the time in his career.
That's just what you expect from him. I mean, there was one on the sideline where it should have been a touchdown that I think it was Shaheed that just completely dropped it.
So what is Derek Carr? Is it the first 2 games? Oh, that was a touchdown. The Shaheed pass, that was an absolute touchdown. He dropped it. You're right.
Yes, right there.
So what Carr are we going to get for the rest of the season? The Carr in the first 2 games or the Carr in the third game? Or in between?
I don't know, man. I mean, I still saw a lot of talent from him in this game. I feel like Chris Olave really stepped up.
And Alvin Kamara.
Absolutely.
And you hate that guy, but he stepped up big time in this game. He's been nice. He's having a nice back year.
He's good at receiving back. I didn't realize he had that talent in him.
He's got the yards after the catch too, and also he breaks decent tackles. Alvin Kamara is an effective back.
I feel like you just can't abuse him. You can't,
because he gets hurt, suspensions.
You gotta give him space. You gotta have another back with
Jamal Williams, but they don't use him much.
They don't
really.
I barely see him on the field.
They're gonna have to, because if Kamara gets hurt, this offense is screwed, Dylan.
It is. Maybe you pick up somebody. I don't know.
Surprisingly, the offense is not screwed with all the injuries. The Los Angeles Rams beating the Niners at home, yes, but it felt like on the road with all the Niners fans there. Matt Stafford playing out of his mind with what was the Robinson? I don't even know these guys' names. I'm forgetting it now.
Robinson's the heart of it.
Parkinson, what are we even doing here? And the guy went down the field multiple times in the second half and won in the game.
It's crazy because going into the halftime, it was 7-24 or 7-21, and they completely turned it around in the second half. And it's come on, the 49ers.
Fake punt converted. What are you doing,
with
man?
this defense? You can't let up that big.
Last drive, deep ball down the field, completed to Atwell. Tutu Atwell, I forgot too. The last drive completed to Atwell.
That's a big
what
one.
What are you doing, guys?
I mean, I've said this before. I mean, Stafford's going to be making his receivers. He's that good of a quarterback where. This is why Puka Nacua is who Puka Nacua is.
I think, exactly. You made a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because I would have forgotten to bring this up. Matt Stafford, we always say that he didn't win shit in the Lions. Cooper Kupp had 1,900 yards in a historic season with Stafford. Calvin Johnson, historic season with Stafford and the Lions. Puka Nacua, historic rookie season on the Rams with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford get his wide receivers records. Why? Because he's an elite quarterback. So stop saying that he's washed. Stop saying that he doesn't win enough. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's thrown 40 touchdowns in the season. What else do you want from him? He's elite.
He's a leader, too. I mean, I saw this video where he was just... Anytime his guys dropped the ball, he would walk over. He's like, nah, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this, there was this play where, I think it was Tutu Atwell. He dropped the ball. He hit him right after that just to give him some, momentum and some motivation to move forward. He's just a leader, and that's just... Somebody like that you want on your football team.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because in flag football, when Nick, I don't want me to bring up his name, when he doesn't get us the ball, we don't have confidence. Once he gets you a ball, 2 balls, you get some rhythm. Remember that fall season, you had a couple touchdowns. You got you some balls early.
That's what it's about. You need to get your wide receivers pumped up, and
That's why you get them going early. You get them going early, but you know what? They didn't get them going early, but they had them going in the third quarter, which helped them for the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, they figured it out in the second half, and very impressive. Stafford had. Maybe the best game he ever had with the talent that he has on offense, and they used Kyron Williams just right. You got to keep on.
He picked up a lot of slack too.
You have to expect it though. With the amount of talent that you're missing out on, he's the star now.
You have to think though. 5th round draft pick 2 years ago, had a breakout year. Was it a fluke? It was not a fluke.
No, absolutely not. I mean, they really put the magnifying glass on him now, and he was able to still perform.
You know who had an elite game though that people don't talk about enough? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy played out of his mind in this game.
I mean, it's unfortunate because they did lose this game, and they're going to overlook that, but he did not have the talent on offense that he should have.
If you watch back that game, he made a lot of big throws in that game. Brock Purdy, I'm sorry. The more I watch Brock Purdy, the more I like him. He keeps making plays out of the pocket. He's accurate on the run.
Absolutely. I mean, Juwan Jennings, he had a hell of a game.
That's a whole nother story. Juwan Jennings had a career game.
It's unfortunate because they played a hell of a game, but the Rams just
came back at the end.
Fell asleep in the second half. But Juwan Jennings, I mean, he had phenomenal catches. He could be a wide receiver one on any other team. Honestly, he really could.
This might be his breakout year. Ayuk might take a step back, and Juwan Jennings.
Ayuk was out there the whole time, and he really wasn't getting any.
He was average. Targets. It's kind of funny because they paid him, and now he's like not producing.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they really didn't need to pay him. You have enough talent around. It just sucks because you have so many other players. You don't know the talent you have because
you don't play him.
You have CMC running for 4 touchdowns.
And you got Jordan Mason running for 3.
Exactly, and then you have this other stud that you didn't even know you had. Like, who knew who Mason was before this year? Nobody.
And
I didn't know who he was.
You got Pearsall, who got shot, who's going to come back soon too. You got another. You forgot about him. You got another first-round receiver.
The ownership of this team and the way that they draft, phenomenal.
They always hit on offense, defense. They are geniuses with that, and
that's why they're always. The Rams are never losing.
Yeah, both of them will be fine.
They're always in contention.
Yeah, both the Rams and Niners will be fine. Both of these teams are going to be fine. I think
it's a divisional rival too. You're always going to get a banger like that.
Right.
So both these teams we're not worried about. Good game. Good comeback from the Rams. Good for Stafford.
So Lions-Cardinals, are you worried about Kyler Murray losing this game, or because I think the Lions defense did a good job in this game. They stifled Kyler Murray a little bit, and he was a little bit out of sorts. So I think the Lions did what they did best. They ran the ball with Gibbs and Montgomery. Mm-hmm. Jared Goff, yes, his numbers look good, but you saw some dumb throws in that game. And honestly, that's where they got to run the ball more. You can't have Jared Goff throwing 50 times. I think they learned that this week.
No, I mean, I said it before. The heart of this offense is running the ball. You got 2 phenomenal running backs. Montgomery, I mean, either one of these guys could be RB1.
They're interchangeable.
They really are. I mean, you have Swift, that's more of a receiving back,
right.
And then you have Montgomery that will go right up the middle, stiff arm someone, and just run it in for a touchdown. I mean,
the hook and ladder play was beautiful.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's just great coaching. I mean, give it to Dan Campbell. They had some great coaching in this game. You could tell. And they do everything right. They got to stick with this formula, and they'll do just fine.
Yeah, and who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
I feel like it's tied with the Lions and the 49ers, but the 49ers without all their weapons, I feel like the Lions are running it.
Gotta be honest, I like Green Bay a lot. Once Jordan Love comes back, they're dangerous.
I'm not ready to call them
I agree.
The leaders.
I agree. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray couldn't get into a rhythm. Are they a playoff team?
Not yet. I mean,
you think they're a year away?
They are. I mean, they're still putting pieces back together. You got this rookie wide receiver that you're just figuring out how to use. I mean, they have some good games, and I feel like they're gonna end up with like a 8-7 record, something like that.
Are the Vikings a year away? Because
they might be. This might be their year. It's crazy enough to say this might be their year. If Sam, I don't know.
Was I wrong about him?
You were wrong about him, and this goes back to points I've made before. You always want to have a quarterback sit behind another quarterback like a veteran, and learn from him. You could tell after time, this guy started to get it. Things started to click for him, and he figured it out. And he's looking like the best quarterback. Honestly, he's looking like the best quarterback in the league right now. Tell me another quarterback that's looking as good as Sam Darnold. It's crazy.
I'm just getting mad because I'm a Jets fan. I'm hearing you say this. I'm like,
no, I know.
God damn it.
It's like you let him slip through. It was the coaching staff.
I thought he was the guy that was going to turn the franchise around, honestly. But, I honestly, I don't know. This is tough because he's played great for 3 games. On the Panthers, his first year in the Panthers, he went 3-0 too, and then it fell apart. I still think there's going to be a time down the road. He might be 7-4, 8-5. He might get into the playoffs. But there's going to be time. I really do feel like this. That Sam Darnold's going to become Sam Darnold. I can't get it out of my head.
But that's just you being a Jets fan, I feel like.
But he did on the Panthers, too. He
was, but I feel like the Panthers organization, it
is. The owner's a shit show. But look at them now.
Yeah, they turned it around in a week. I'll give it to them, but
I thought they made good moves in the offseason, though.
I feel like in that game, that was just strictly off of the relief of not having Bryce Young. Everybody on the team was like, oh.
Kind of a rejuvenation.
Yes, they all exhaled okay, now we could play football. We have somebody behind us. Receivers, line, everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they're sick of losing.
Shout out to the Panthers, by the way. Great game. We're not going to get too much into it, but great game for the Panthers. Andy Dalton playing his ass off. Look,
listen. Before we get into it, they're going up against the Bengals. Hey, if you really want to make a statement, beat the Bengals.
Beat the Bengals.
They could do it.
So great job by. We'll get back into this game. Great job by Brian Flores, defensive coordinator. Stifled C.J. Stroud. He was outsourced the entire game. C.J. Stroud was not regular C.J. Stroud in this game.
No,
you're not worried about the Texans, are you? I'm really not. I think it was just a bad game.
I'm not. I'm not gonna be honest. I didn't watch this game too much, but I'm very impressed by the Vikings. I mean, they've been doing it all season. Blowouts after blowouts. Right. Good. It's not like they're blowing out bad teams. They're blowing out great teams.
And
49ers, Texans. These are like Super Bowl contenders, and you're just washing the floor with them. It's like, how can you not take them seriously at this point?
Right. This is more of an indictment on the Minnesota Vikings than it is on the Houston Texans. I think the Vikings were just so impressive in this game. The Texans, you're going to be fine. Don't really worry about this. But the Vikings were really impressive in this game.
It's crazy. And I'm seeing all this stuff now. Like, Sam Darnold is the runner for MVP right now. Crazy enough, right?
And the Vikings, think about this. Giants lost to the Vikings, lost to the Commanders, and then beat the Browns. The Giants, the first two losses were tough teams. Now they beat the Browns.
Hindsight, I feel a little better about the Giants because that first week one against this Sam Darnold, I thought it would be a cakewalk, but apparently they're a good team. And then the Commanders, they got this rookie quarterback. Apparently they're a good team. So I'm a little relieved about how talented these teams are, and it gives me a little bit more hope with the Giants. But I need another couple weeks before I'm.
Your defensive line.
Playoffs. I need a couple more weeks. The defense, they all put it together.
Right.
Everything was put together. I loved it. The defense, they were making sacks. 8 sacks in one game. Dexter Lawrence was going off. Brian Burns was coming in. He finally stepped up. Almost had a pick. He should have. They were just putting it all together. Malik Williams, Neighbors.
Oh, well,
I know. 2 Maliks to get me confused.
Neighbors is special, man.
Neighbors is special. That's going to be your Saquon Barkley. That's the heart of your offense. You got to feed him. Listen, even if Daniel Jones throws bad balls, you saw he completely mossed him. He made a bad throw into one of the best catches of the week.
And I told my dad this. They're like, oh, Neighbors didn't do much in the second half. I'm like, did Daniel Jones throw in the ball much? Did Daniel Jones throw in the ball much in that fourth quarter? I don't think he really did. So
I mean, this is like a situation with the Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens. They were kind of, quote unquote blowing them out, but they played with their food too much. They let them catch up.
That's one thing I'm worried about. Your secondary. Amari Cooper kind of torched your secondary. That's the one thing I would worry about if I was a Giant fan. That secondary can cause problems for you in the year if you don't get a pass rush. Today you got a pass. Well, not today. Sunday you got a pass rush. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. They really got to that.
You have to have your line step up because obviously we don't have the talent back there. But listen, I need a couple more weeks before I'm fully convinced. But I like this was a great bounce back week for the Giants. Against a good defense. I mean, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
I always do. Myles Garrett was in this game basically the whole time. He got hurt towards the end, but they just put in a couple new guys, and now it's all working. I mean, what do you expect? Because you can't expect to put everything together and expect it to work right away. It takes time for the chemistry to build, the line to build, for them to understand their assignments, and it seems like they are. So, listen, I'm just going to say one more thing. This Thursday against the Cowboys is going to be the telling. This is going to let us know if they're actually legit.
Would you be surprised if I went Giants here?
I would be. I honestly would be because you never jump the gun. And the fact that if you were saying Giants, I will be shocked.
So I had the Giants going 1-16 this year, but I've seen some improvements from this team. I've seen Joe Shane rebuild the offensive line in the free agency, and this offensive line looks a lot better than any offensive line you ever had. They actually run the ball very effectively. Yes, Devin Singletary, he fumbles a little bit too much for my liking, but he's been productive.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, okay, you put Diggs on him, fine. You got Wandale. You have some weapons on offense. And
Wandale, I've said this from the beginning. Wandale's a phenomenal wide receiver. He can be a top 30.
Yeah, honestly, he probably could be one day. Now, Giants, Cowboys. Giants are home. This is tough because, logic tells me Cowboys, but I feel like this year is the year of the upset. And the year of the upset, I'm going to go Giants at home here. I'm going to go that 40-0.
That does blow me away.
Week 1 last year, they lost 40-0 at home, and I picked them. And they embarrassed me.
That.
I think the New York Giants are going to win this game, Dylan. I really do.
I like it. I like the matchup too. I mean, Malik Williams and Trayvon Diggs have been going at it back and forth on Twitter.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting to see.
It's like the most exciting matchup. Like between cornerback and wide receiver. That's my favorite matchup for this week. And I want to see Malik completely destroy him. I want him to cook him up.
Diggs is a kind of a corner that he's not that locked down. He anticipates routes, so he might jump the gun and Malik Neighbors beats him deep. That could happen.
And he can make phenomenal plays, even if it's a bad throw, man. He's gonna make up for it.
Look at that Saints game, dude. They fucking they threw all over them. They really did. Like Shaheed going over the top. That might be Neighbors in this game.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, listen. I have too much emotion. Tomorrow night.
Where you going with?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm going with my Giants. I mean, after what they showed me, I'm going with them.
Honestly, I agree. Like the Giants, their pass rush, if they could play like that, Dallas is going to be in trouble. They're going to be in trouble.
But what worries me is how the Cowboys played at the end of the Ravens game. We can't you can't play with your foot.
I wouldn't worry about that.
You got to put the call
garbage
in the
time.
mail.
I would not worry about that. It was garbage time.
So yeah, exciting game. I'm going to be looking forward to it.
What about another? Do you have this other upset? Panthers home against the Bengals. Do you have the Panthers beating the Bengals?
I don't, but it's definitely going to be a game I'm looking out for.
I got Bengals too, but I think it's going to be closer than that.
The spread is -5, Bengals. I think that's a bit much. The way that the Panthers have been
played one game. Yes.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. I think we're jumping the gun a little bit. They played one game. Andy Dalton went out there.
But now you see them and you're like, wow, they got Deontay Johnson, they got Xavier Legette, they got Chuba Hubbard. They have some pieces. You think about that now and you're like, wow, they actually do have some offensive pieces.
We're going to be missing Thielen for a week or two.
Yes.
He's going to be out.
I didn't even mention Thielen. That's another one. But yes, he's out now. Yep.
Might be a big...
that was a great touchdown, though, by him. That was a nice play.
It was unfortunately he got hurt.
Beautiful post route.
But what was I going to say? The Panthers, I feel like this really puts a burden on Bryce Young, because a lot of teams were actually looking to pick him up. Do you think the decision changed after this game? I heard quite a few teams were interested in trading for him.
That's actually a good question. It might have changed after the game.
If you use him in the right way, I suppose. Like you put him on the Lions as a backup.
Dude, I was the one that
I don't know.
I was the one that thought he was going to work, and it's not working.
Where would he work?
He's too short, and he doesn't have good enough arm.
Could he even be a backup? Can he win you games? How many games did he win?
I think if you have Bryce Young as your backup and your starter gets hurt, you're guaranteed to lose that game with Bryce Young. Did you see that? I thought they were going to bounce back this year. And the first pass of the season, the first pass was a terrible throw. I'm like, it's over. It's really over.
It's unfortunate. I mean, he doesn't overcome his size, and there's nothing much you can do about that.
A rookie that actually is playing a little well after last week. Coming back after last week, playing well. Bo Nix. Playing the Jets this week. Jets at home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Jets here. They got some momentum beating the Patriots. I'm going to go Jets.
But yeah, another game I'd be a little worried about. Obviously, they had one game where they kind of came back and looked like they could win games. But at the same time, I don't like what I saw in the beginning. I don't like what I saw from the first two games. So I don't know. Bo Nix is a rookie, so you just got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Okay, so
he's got to throw some bad throws. So I'm gonna go Jets here, but don't play with your food here.
We're both going Jets and Giants here, baby.
Let's go.
This is actually a pretty interesting one. NFC West, Saints-Falcons here. Falcons home, 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to go Falcons here. I like the Saints after the first 2 weeks, but they did not impress me at all against the Eagles. And the Falcons have been playing good teams, being impressive. So honestly, I'm going to go Falcons here. I think the Falcons are home. They got a good offensive structure there. They have weapons on offense, and they have a decent defense. So I'm going to go with the Falcons.
I've been liking what I've been saying this before. I like what I see from the Falcons. They're putting it all together. Kirk Cousins is understanding his receivers. We got Kirkio back. I mean, Kirkio, that's my guy.
Kirko bangs.
You put the chains on him, and you got a top 10 quarterback. But yeah, quarterback to quarterback, I trust Kirk more.
Yeah, well, the team that Kirk was on last year, Vikings, with all those changes and everything, are playing the Packers. And the Packers are home. We don't know if Jordan Love's coming back, but if even Malik Willis plays, Mike LaFleur has been very impressive running this offense. And Malik Willis, who we thought couldn't do shit on Tennessee, now all of a sudden he could be an effective backup.
He looks like a top backup right now.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having him like if the Dolphins had him right now, I think they would be pretty happy.
Yeah, well, definitely right now. What are the Dolphins? That's another thing. What are the Dolphins going to do?
We'll get into that one too.
I'm actually going to go Vikings here. They're on the road. I know the Packers are favorites, but Sam Darnold's red hot right now. Maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe I was right. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But they're playing it hot, and the Packers defense I'm still a little sketched out about. I'm going to go Vikings here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ride the Vikings train too. I mean, it's just hard to stop a train like this. I mean, I think they're getting Jordan Addison back this week too, so you have some more targets out there. Sam Darnold, man, how can he stop him? It should be. I want to see this game. I might solely tune into this game. I'm going Vikings here, but this might be a high-scoring game.
I will note, the Packers, if Jordan Love starts, I'll go Packers here. But if Malik Willis starts, I'm going to go
That's
Vikings.
Fair.
Yes.
I think they're leaning more towards he's going to start.
So
he almost started last week.
I'm going to go Packers if Jordan Love starts. I think Sam Darnold's going to tip eventually, but with a backup Malik Willis.
I'm gonna do the same thing as you. As you.
All right, he's telling mine. He's telling mine.
Yours.
Not a good idea, my friend, but to tell anything I do with bets or any predictions, because it's been wrong so far. But
funny, right?
Jaguars at Texans. I think we can both agree the Texans are going to blow out the Jaguars here. 6.5 is too low.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
What's going on with
Jaguars, shot themselves in the foot.
I said this before the season. I would rather pay him $5 million more to see another season of great quarterback play. You pay him now. You don't even know if he's going to be elite yet. He had half of a good season.
He had half of a good season, and let's not talk about last season, how they looked terrible. Like, every game was a
even when they were
struggle.
8-3, he was ugly.
Struggle. Yeah. They versed terrible teams and struggled against them.
Honestly, I was one of these guys. I'm like, oh, they were 8-3. They started 8-3. That 8-3 was ugly. Very ugly. So, I mean, the other shoe was going to fall off the foot eventually, Dylan.
They looked disgusting in this game. Trevor Lawrence, he was spinning in the pocket when he didn't.
Interception, he wasn't pressured. The guy was wide open and he overthrew him.
There was multiple plays where I'm like, I'm concerned. I'm concerned if this guy is going to be on this team.
I think he's rattled. His confidence is down. Like, he's lost all his confidence, I think.
No.
I don't think he's this bad, but it's just like he's playing this bad.
I could spend a whole episode on talking about him.
Maybe we will one day. Seriously, if
it
gets to the point where he gets benched, we're spending a whole episode.
Can we talk about how the spread is only -4.5? I feel like Texans should have like a 7-8 point spread on these guys.
I think FanDuel said -6.5.
It might have went up during the week. I might have done this earlier.
You might have done it before the game happened with Buffalo.
I didn't. It probably it should be a higher spread.
I think it was higher.
I think Texans are going to blow them out.
Even 6.5 feels low, right?
They had a bad week. They're going to want to come back.
This spread's a little lower, Dylan. Steelers are on the road, but they're 1.5 point favorites against the Colts. The Colts, I don't know, man. I know you were high on Anthony Richardson. He made one of the best throws I've ever seen week 1. But the last 2 weeks, he's scaring me, man. His inaccuracy. He's missing a lot of throws, Dylan. And you have to agree, it's scaring me.
It scares me as well. But it's like, like I said before, he reminds me of Josh Allen. I feel like he's still going to have, that arm. He's going to still have some good throws. I feel like he's just a rookie, man. I mean, I consider him a rookie. He only had 4 games last season.
Sure.
He really didn't have a full season. Let him get out the cobwebs. Let him, get used to the NFL. I think he's going to be fine. He has those legs. I mean, he'll just lay his shoulder down if he has to. But yeah, he has to work on that ball.
Another guy that needs to work on his game, Caleb Williams. Somehow the Bears are 2.5 point favorites over the Rams. I'm still going to go Rams here, even though they lost a lot of talent. Matt Stafford showed me a lot last week, and the Bears, they worry me. So who do you trust more in this game, Stafford or Caleb?
Caleb hasn't showed me anything. Anything. I mean, it blows my mind how they're favorites here. They had one good week that they didn't even win.
Defense. It was defense.
It was defense, and Caleb had 1 touchdown to a lineman. It wasn't even that good. Like, I don't like anything I'm seeing from Caleb. And that's not to crap on Caleb, because this line is just incompetent. They looked like Giants line last year.
Honestly, I was shitting on Justin Fields saying he held on to a lot of sacks, and it's the same shit this year. So was it really Fields' fault? I don't even know anymore.
Listen, they're 3-0. They're 3-0. They're one of the few teams that are 3-0.
Pittsburgh,
and real quick, what do? You got Russell Wilson. That's quote unquote.
Who cares about him?
I guess not Tom.
Yeah. And what is even the injury? I don't even know what's going on.
They say it's a calf injury, but somebody that old,
he's being a wuss.
I mean, how do you bench somebody like that?
I guess when you're 3-0, how do you like?
How do you pull out Justin Fields after he does 3-0?
You can't.
You gotta let
can't.
it ride.
You can't. You can't
know?
bench him.
Broncos country, let it ride.
Yeah, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride.
So we got Eagles at Bucks, and somehow Eagles on the road are a 1.5 favorites. This one's tough for me. I'm gonna go Eagles here. I'm not confident about it. I think the Bucks should easily win this game, but I think the Eagles are gonna want revenge from the playoff matchup last year where the Bucks kicked their ass. So I think the Eagles. Parker's gonna get going on the ground here, and Baker hasn't looked that impressive the last.
He hasn't. I feel like it was mainly just last week. He really wasn't looking that good.
Even the Lions game, he wasn't that great. He threw some bad picks, and
he did. I'm still high on the Bucks. I don't like what I saw from the Eagles last week. You're playing with your food. You should have destroyed the Saints. I mean, the team that they are now, I mean, they've been playing very impressive. They got Saquon Barkley, one of the best backs ever. You got two talented wide receivers. I don't know. I feel like, obviously, they've been out on injury. But a team like this should cakewalk all these teams, and they're not. I mean, 0 points in one half, that worries me. I'm going to go Bucks here. I think they bounce back and they have a good game here.
So did the 49ers show up against the Patriots, though? 10.5-point favorites.
I would hope so. I mean,
I'm going to go Niners here. They're 1-2. They got to bounce back this week.
You have to go Niners here, but I think Patriots are going to give them a good game.
They probably will. This one's actually a gimme because now the Commanders looking impressive. At the Cardinals, I'm going to go with Kyler Murray here. He's the most established quarterback. They got to bounce back here. They lost to the Lions and kind of like Kyler struggled a little bit.
And it's crazy. This is a 5.5-point spread favoring the Cardinals. That kind of shocks me a little bit. I got Commanders here.
So actually, I think it went down to 3.5 though.
That's weird. So I might do it a little early. The spread fluctuates throughout the week.
Yeah, I think it went down for that reason. It must after the Monday night game, it must have went down because that's.
I might have done this before the Monday night game. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. But I like Commanders here. I mean, Jayden Daniels, he looks impressive. It seems like he has a connection with Terry McLaurin. I think they're going to be fine. I think that's going to be a hot connection.
That is a hot connection. That's going to be a hot connection. And we have an AFC West divisional game. Chiefs at Chargers, actually. Do we even know Justin Herbert's going to play? I don't know what's going on. I guess he will, but like...
It's crazy because last week I said, if Justin Fields play, I'm getting... Who do they even play?
The Justin Herbert plays the Chargers versus Steelers.
That's right. And I was like, okay, if he plays, I'm gonna go the Chargers. He played and he did not look good.
I was hoping you didn't still go Steelers with that. I was hoping you didn't
I did say it.
Okay, as long as you were being honest about that. I didn't check that. Okay.
I put that as an L because
good,
he did play. He got hurt throughout the game. I'm like, at that point, don't even start him.
Yeah.
I'm going Chiefs here. Chargers are kind of worrying me. They do have a new head coach.
If Justin Herbert doesn't play every week.
People were way too high. People were saying they were going to the Super Bowl.
You gotta relax.
You gotta relax. I mean, just like getting a new quarterback, you gotta put things together. Are you worried about them at all, Chargers?
I'm only worried because Justin Herbert got hurt. They looked good the first two games. Actually, the first game was a little but the second game, they ran the ball very effectively. Justin Herbert...
There was no convincing... with Eckler, right?
Week 2,
with J.K. Dobbins.
And Quentin Johnson, yeah. They look good week 2. Week 3, not so much. But I'm going to go Chiefs here. I think the Chargers are fine. Maybe a playoff team, maybe not, but it's the Chiefs game here.
Show it here. I mean, go against a good defense.
So we got Browns at Raiders, and... I know
this is like a sloppy game.
Deshaun Watson has looked awful, but they beat the Jags. I think the Browns win here, honestly.
Interesting. I have the Raiders here. To get beat by, as much as I love the Giants, to get beat by the Giants, get manhandled in the first half. Come on, man. I don't like. You're selling me more on it. Deshaun Watson being a bust. He hasn't shown me anything good.
What has he shown you? Yes, the line's been terrible. They're missing 2 of their stars. I get it. But, make plays.
But somebody like that, you should be able to make plays.
Out of the pocket.
Break out the pocket. Throw it down the field.
Right.
I haven't seen anything I like from him. I'm going Raiders here.
I haven't either. Sunday Night Football. Bills at Ravens. This is the one game I haven't decided till now. I'm going to go by feel here. And my feel is telling me... Look, I said before the season I had the quarterback rankings. And I had Lamar over Josh Allen. I probably was wrong. Josh Allen is a better thrower of the football from the pocket than Lamar. I think Josh Allen's better than Lamar, and the Bills are red hot right now. I'm going to go Buffalo on the road here.
That's crazy. I'm glad you did that because I'm going Ravens. Honestly, I don't like what I saw from the end of the game, but I feel like they really figured out what their rhythm is. That They got Derrick Henry. They're using him correctly. You got some good backs there. I just like what I've been seeing from the Ravens.
Me too.
Do you? Because you chose Bills.
Well, I do too. So that's the thing.
Bills are very hot right now.
I like what they did on the ground.
Cook has been cooking.
I like what they did on the ground last week. They've been doing everything they needed to do well, like running the football, but establishing what they really are on the ground. But I think Buffalo is red hot right now, and I do think Josh Allen has been he hasn't turned the ball over yet this season. That is amazing for Josh Allen.
It's due. It's due. It might be due in this game.
Right.
Real quick, who's the better cook? Who's going to be the better cook?
That's true.
No.
Like James Cook or Dalvin Cook?
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's not even going to play. Is Dalvin Cook on the Ravens?
He is, but
I thought he was on the Dolphins.
Because his prime didn't last that long.
I thought Dalvin Cook was on the Dolphins now.
I couldn't even tell you.
I don't remember.
Exactly.
Yeah. So look,
James Cook, right?
James Cook is a big factor in that Buffalo offense. So
he is him as a receiving back. You're missing Stephon Diggs. It's kind of hard to replace that, but it seems like they've been doing
a combination of him, Kincaid, and Keon Coleman, and Shakir replacing that. That's fine as long as you.
Do you think? Because of the cancer is out of the building, they kind of feel relieved. It seems like that.
We made up a great point. I think Josh Allen feels free. He's not always... Now he's just getting the ball to the open guy. Not going, I got to feed Stephon Diggs.
You don't got to worry about him breathing on your
He's playing
neck.
loose and he's playing free. Maybe that's why his picks went down. That's actually a good point, Dylan.
That is.
So we got
something we got to look into.
2 Monday Night Football games. This first one's shit. Titans at Dolphins. This is a pick-me game. Really.
Yeah.
I know. Will Levis is probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Skylar Thompson. Oh my God, he did not look like he should even be on
that last
flag.
throw at halftime. What was he doing? Just rolling out and not wait, just letting himself get hit in the back like that. It's be aware.
No, those are two different plays. There was one play where he literally stood in the pocket for 10 seconds.
That was the one on the left, and then the one on the right where he rolled out.
Yeah. And he literally threw the ball 20 yards. He didn't even throw it. And that's a play you gotta put in the end. It looked like he couldn't even reach the end zone.
He wasn't trying to. The last play, he kept rolling right.
He rolled right, and somebody just ran right into it. It's run at that.
I have to go Titans here.
Who did I even choose? I don't even remember. I chose Titans too. It's just
process of elimination.
The amount of talent that they have on the Dolphins.
It's kind of scary.
It worries me.
Mike McDaniel is is this guy even a good coach anymore?
They should have kept Mike White, man. He would have. He might have been able to win some games.
Right. I don't understand what they were doing there. Now, the last but not least, Seahawks at Lions. This actually might be a really good game. I'm going to go with the underdog here. Seattle's been playing well. New head coach. They got talent there. I'm going to go Seattle.
Interesting.
And I haven't been crazy about the Lions either. When Jared Goff gets pressure and he has to throw, he's been struggling this season.
Like I said, I love their run offense. I mean, Montgomery is a beast. I mean, he might... I don't want to say he's the best back right now, but he's been playing like it. I mean, he's got to be 28 now.
He's getting up there.
He's getting up there, and he's looking like he's coming right out.
I thought last season was a fluke year, and he was going to take a step back. No. Gibbs was going to take a step up. Gibbs has taken the big role, but Montgomery's just as good.
They're using them perfectly. Use Swift as more of a receiving back. Have him run up the gun.
You say Gibbs. You keep saying Swift when you mean Gibbs. Yeah,
I said Gibbs.
You said Swift. Swift used to be in the line.
I did not say Swift.
Okay, well
we're gonna have to go back on that. And
that's fine. That's fine.
No, but I'm telling you, use him.
Gibbs is more of a receiving back.
Yeah, put him in the open field. But I'm going Lions here. I mean. It wasn't a pretty game. Goff had some bad throws, but that's Goff. That's
Goff.
That's Goff for you. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, too. But I got Lions here.
It's going to be a night. That's probably going to be the one good Monday night game. And we got some good games this week. Look, we make some picks. We might be wrong, might be right. Who cares? Just stop hating. Just
let's just throw it out there. I'm ahead right now, 26-22,
and I'm 24-24. I went 7-9.
He
went 9-7 last week.
Hold my L.
Yeah, we were tied last week.
Hold my helmet and then hold my L.
Hold my helmet, hold my L, and shut the hell up. No, we were both 17-15 last week, and he went 9-7. I went 7-9. So blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got to break the tiebreaker this year. We tied last year.
That's weird.
That's not gonna happen again.
All right. Well, we got week 4 predictions in the book. Hopefully, this is a fun week. Hopefully, I can get in the win column. We're playing each other in fantasy, so.
Oh yeah.
He's 3-0 and I'm 0-3. Don't ask why. I just suck at fantasy for some reason every year.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
Can't help myself.
All right, Dylan. Good talk, and we will see you next week. Take care. Thanks.